Hello and welcome to this edition of the Creative Native Interviews. And today we're going to be having our guest Simon SIM Pothier with his Tales from the Natverse. Simon, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, dude. And
Oh, no
hello,
problem,
everyone
man.
in the chat.
Hey, chat. Mysterious chat. So this is going to be a kind of like impromptu hangout interview promo kind of thing. So it's just very, very chill. Shoot the shit. Don't worry. Swearing's allowed.
Hell yeah.
I can't
So
be.
I don't have to. I don't have to be stressed. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to put on the facade of professional right now, so it's all good. But yeah, man, you got Tales from Natverse 1 up on Indiegogo right now.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And that's my little baby that I'm bringing back and I'm getting the chance of finishing it.
Yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm stepping all over you, man.
No, it's okay. we've been wanting to do this for a while, and it's not often that we get to actually talk live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little baby of mine that it's something that I started in 2012 with Zidara 9 and it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun to be able to go back to my little baby and the thing that got me known here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's also named after one of my kids.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull this up here. There we go. Tales from Natverse live on Indiegogo and in demand as we speak, right?
Yep. I'm just waiting for the colors to be done, because the thing is, we added I was able to. I found the original black and whites of the first story of that was published, and we were able to save the blacks and white of the rose. So instead of printing the shitty colors that I had back then, they're all getting recolored.
Nice. And are you doing that, or is Scotsman doing that?
Scotsman.
Nice. That's
Me,
awesome.
I just colored the sexy prints. I don't know if you saw them pass around.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh. Well, don't worry, they're censored, so we can show them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, darn you, YouTube, no TNA.
I just have to make sure that I open the right ones.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's the first one.
I'll share that.
Like I said, they're censored, don't worry.
There we go. Nice. I like the censored branding you got going on there.
Yeah, the brand pasty. I'm thinking of getting them made for the next campaign.
Oh,
and
doing
a promotion like if you get your girlfriends to take a picture with it, you get a free sketch from me.
There you go. As a man who used to frequent many strip clubs, I do appreciate that.
Right? And here's the second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that one floating around, man.
That's Queen Elrica from
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. So let's give everybody a little bit of history of you. Like what's your backstory? Where you come from? What have you been involved with? What kind of shit have you been, stirring up?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been wanting to do comics all my life, and there's a certain point in life where you decide to go career, right?
Yep.
And I went like in security and intelligence. I used to work for Pinkerton.
Oh, okay.
Before it got sold and became Securitas.
Yep.
And there's a point when I got my kid in 2005, the first kid. I want to go back to my dream. I've put it aside long enough, right? So I started working at it again, and I started hitting all the cons, right?
Yep.
So
that's
being
on the West Coast too, or on the East Coast, you have all that access down there as well. So
yeah, and I used to go to Toronto often, just for the fan expo. I used to love going there, and it was the only place to actually meet the big guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was bummed that I missed out on that, because like every year that it came up, like the guest list was just getting better and better for all the pros, because everyone seemed to be like, yeah, Toronto's a fun con to go to.
Dude, you remember when we were all getting fucking hyped to go to that freaking con and meet up and do the CG thing over there and be cool, and then what happened?
Yep. Well, I think it's going to come back around again here. We'll obviously we all have to play it by ear, but I think with the CG
it is
con,
quite expensive to go over there.
Yeah, but I think with the CG con, it kind of has that vibe to it. Like everyone's super excited to go, as where a lot of the cons kind of seems that like everybody's just going there for the media shit, and I have no fucking involvement with that whatsoever.
But one thing's for sure, though, we all need to team up. The
Oh
guys
yeah.
here in Canada, we need to team up and buy one of those big, kiosks. we just buy one big one and we all sit there.
Yep.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we should all get one and team up with anybody from like the UK or overseas that's coming to, and just be like, yeah, we'll all be right here.
You want to fly in? You got a spot.
Yep.
But that's how I started, and then I started going around, and that's how I met Michael Turner. I met a few, and Simon Bisley, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I had their support, and I used to meet up with Michael Turner every year because he's the one that told me to stop knocking at all the doors, because I used to meet up with a whole bunch of people at Marvel.
Yeah.
And some of the answers I would get, nobody wants to know. Nobody, Marvel and DC, we don't want a new Jim Lee or something like that, right?
Yeah, that because they're like very much against the artist now. Like they don't want somebody to rise up through the ranks, have a style. I think it was like late.
They want
90s.
A house style more, yeah.
Yeah, like late 90s, early 2000s is when they really pushed away from that, because it seemed like Joe Madureira, J. Scott Campbell, like that was kind of like the last push for any of that stuff. And then as soon as they got out of it, they were just like, nope, writers from here on out.
In the late 80s and the 90s, the sales were driven by the creators. Like people were following the creators, and that was their problem, because when they went to do Image, they saw their numbers dropping.
Oh yeah, man!
What the fuck? We need to bring the attention to IPs only.
Yep.
So ever since, it's been on a type of like decline, you could say.
Well, they've been terrified of the creators ever since. Like they understand that like when you have somebody creative come into that thing and make it into something, there's a reason for that, and people will follow that person or that team somewhere.
So that's what led me to meet Michael Turner. And Michael Turner told me to stop this shit. He goes, you probably have a few characters that you came up with in your childhood. I'm like, yeah. Which one's your favorite one? I'm like, there's a character called Wolf Dragon in a story called The Everhard Chronicles. Go, The Everhard Chronicles? Yeah. Your character's called Wolf Dragon? Yeah, that should be your goddamn title.
Yep, that's pretty badass, man.
So I'm like, okay. So he goes, now you're gonna go back to your room right now, and you're gonna lay me out at least like 3 pages for tomorrow. So I went upstairs,
that's awesome.
And I spent like the entire night up. Like I didn't sleep. I laid out like 5 pages, and I went to see him. So it was like pointers. Looks at me and goes, you know what? See you next year, buddy. So we did that for like 4 years until he passed.
Oh man, that's awesome that you had like that type of interaction with him, and that he was like helping you out like that. That's fucking dope.
Like the last time I met him, it was like it was a really, really cool moment, because I walked in there, right, and after I'm in Montreal and I have to travel all the way to Toronto. I'm a single dad, so babysitter and this and that, and right,
getting everything lined up.
So a lot of money. So I get there, and as I'm there, right, I go in the thing, and they announce that Turner is not feeling well, and it's canceled. He's not going to be at this show and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm fucking bummed out, and I'm like, hope everything is going to be fine, right? And I get a text message. Goes, Michael's going to see you right now. Meet you at the table.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I'm like, holy shit. So yeah, I went to meet him, and he came with his grouches, and he met up with me, then he left. And that's the last time I met him, because after that,
he passed on.
And that's why, in 2009, I made a fanzine. If people don't know what a fanzine is, when you print your own little comic in your own little printer, staple it. So, and that was Wolf Dragon. That's how I started, and that's how I got noticed by, that's when I got noticed by Heroes of the North, Zidara 9, and that's how Tales, Not the Merc became.
That's awesome. Now, do you have any of those the fanzine ash cans left over, or?
No, but I did find some of the pages. Yeah, I do have some.
Cool. Are you going to put those in any like upcoming campaigns, or?
I Wolf Dragon's coming back.
Nice.
That's for sure. It's in my plan. Like right now, I'm at like I came with Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt was me doing a movie. Like I've always pitched it that way. Like you remember, people when Blood Hunt is like a movie. I'm doing one, and a year or two after, you're gonna see a number 2. I have 3 planned.
Yeah.
There might be some crossovers. You're probably gonna see other things, but there's a reason for it, and I can even tell you that. My plan is technically like 2 years and 1 year for the third. Get it? 2 years
Yep.
between 1 and 2, 1 year for the, and you'll get it when you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll happen when it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And Telson and not the Merc. That's why I'm starting with Telson and Adverse. I'm doing what I started before because when Zidara approached me when they saw Wolf Dragon, right?
Yep.
They said we want you to do short stories in each issue, and it was supposed to be once a year, right?
Yep.
Like, how can I maximize that? Like, I can't, like, I just throw in like random characters and stories, and I have like what 10 pages to 12 pages to do a story. How do I maximize that
Hmm.
and not give you a to be continued in a
Yeah.
year,
Yeah. Just
right?
to kind of keep it contained and also have it so people want more of it.
So that's when the idea came of doing. Well, I'll do short story, introduce Nat into short story. Like one, you get to know him quickly, what he
Hmm.
does. Then you get to get a glimpse of his past, and then out of nowhere, I introduce you characters. So I started with Rose,
Nice.
and there was a hint in it that she knew Nat. So the idea was to build up without people knowing, and people going, "Dude, you just created a universe," and then boom, Nat the Merc comes out.
Yep.
That was the entire plan. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm taking all those short story I had planned, and I'm doing them like that. So when we start Nat the Merc, you know Nat, and you know what he can do. You know the universe. You know who's around him in the universe, and you know the baddies.
And there's the gang right there.
Yep. And everyone you meet in Nat the Merc and Telson and Adverse is you don't know. Some of them are friends. Some of them might be foes. You're gonna meet some of the bad guys. It's also like the Boba Fett effect.
Yep. The
Like,
mystery, the intrigue of the characters. Yeah.
yeah, so if I decide to do a backstory, I'm not gonna go like, 10 years before in Not the Merc, I'm gonna go do an issue of Tales on that first.
Yeah.
So it's not a one shot. Like, it's both ongoing series. Like, I'm
Yeah.
starting Not the Merc and Tales on Adverse is like the companion series that goes along with it.
Okay.
So like you'll like one day you'll meet a bad guy and I might tell you his entire origin in a Tales on Adverse issue.
Yeah. No, it's fun that way too because then you can just like keep pulling from different areas of the universe and keep bringing it in.
Yeah, but as a fan, right? I don't like one size fit all type of stories.
Yeah.
I like those universe that build up, right? That are like, it's big. There's multiple people. There's big stories that keep building up to be continued type of thing, right? Ongoing. But I also like. I was a huge fan of Heavy Metal Magazine.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
man.
those anthologies. I really like fucking short stories.
Yep.
It's freaking fun to do. Like, the first time you do them, it's scary as hell. Because the first time you write, right, you try to write that bit epic. It needs to be fucking perfect. One of the first freaking advice that Turner told me: finish not perfect, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
please put out that first shitty story so you just keep getting better. Because if you keep working on the perfect fucking thing, you'll never put out
Never do it.
nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I got a couple friends that are, they're crafting their thing, and I'm like, just put it out there. Just come on, roll it out. And they're like, oh, it's not ready. It's not ready. I'm just like, dude, it's good to go. You could toss it in the oven, burn that thing, and it'll be fine. Everyone will eat it. It's good, man.
Mm-hmm. Like, somebody goes, yeah, well, what happened if you like put yourself in a little corner with a story? I go, that's the point of writing. Like,
Yeah.
that's the entire thing Kirby was doing. It was famous for is the fact, the commandy effect they call it. It's like, hey, what's gonna happen now? This. Then you go, okay, next issue. What am I gonna do? What happened
Yeah.
before? Oh fuck. How do
Yeah.
I
How am I
continue
going to
this
write
shit?
myself out of this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
that's
I'm
half the
I'm
fun
not
too.
allowed to use this. I'm not allowed to use that. Okay, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, that's definitely part of the whole fun of the creative aspect is creating the problems, and then you got to create your way out of them. So
But it's one of the main thing that everybody that known me or been following me for a while, when they look at Nat, compared to Wolf Dragon, Blood Hunt, or anything else that I've worked on, they go, dude, the difference is we look at it and we know we see that you're having fun. Like, everything just seems like you're having fun. It's fun. It's like and it's hard to explain. It's just, yeah. It's like I said, I'm a big fan of Meta Baron. We talked about it.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of like European comics, heavy metal, the
and just
2000
so you know,
AD.
it's okay to talk about Meta Baron here. So
It's okay. I won't get
yeah,
you.
Chris isn't here.
If people watching you don't know what Meta Baron is, please check it out with the Inkle. It's freaking awesome. If it's to me, it's one of the best European comics there is.
Yep.
That and
Yep. Looks.
Slain from the UK with Bisley and Pat Mills. If you do not know that one, Slain the Horn God, totally worth it.
Here we got some of the black and white work. Nice.
Yep. So this is a little like this is something I'm doing. It's like another thing I wanted to highlight is in Tales from the Adverse. There's no it's not chronological.
Yeah.
Meaning there's a short story that's happening before Nat the Merc, after, during. Like an example, Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Is happening during the first arc of Nat the Merc. So during the story of Nat the Merc, there's a point where he's gonna say, "Oh, I need to go. I need to go talk to Elrica," and he's gonna walk in at the end of that short story.
Okay.
Like he's gonna walk. He's there. You know, it's those type of things that I'm doing with Tales from the Adverse. So when you need Nat the Merc, you're gonna be able to have that full experience of, because I don't have 50 years to build. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
you don't?
I tried
You
to.
either? You're gonna
I,
die soon like me?
I tried to figure out a way of building this and being able that when you read Nat the Merc, you're gonna have that feeling of having read issues, back issues, or stuff like that. You know, as seen on this. Like another thing that I'm doing that's a part of the Natverse is I'm doing a standalone, right? So a
Mhm.
story that's like canon, but it's standalone, and
Yep.
that one's gonna be painted over by Inkspot. So we're going full European, and that's gonna
Nice.
be an Inkslayer.
Yeah, and I saw some of the work that he was doing with you posted on Twitter there, and that looked awesome. That Inkspots was working over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We make so well. Like people say that me and Inkspot we mix like peanut butter jelly, and
Yeah,
me and Scottman we mix like peanut butter and chocolate. I'm like, dude, that's one hell of a Reese.
yeah.
Peanut butter jelly Reese.
See, this is some of Inkspots work right here.
Yep, that's gonna be the interior back cover. That's my little Wing to Lobo back cover.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. You know, type of thing. I'm gonna write a little something.
Nice.
The interior back cover that you saw above the where you see them walking with the explosion behind. On the top left, it's gonna say "Cue the music," and on the right, you're gonna see the credits.
Right there.
Yeah. So
Nice.
on the left, it's gonna say "Cue the music." Come up with your own.
With me, it'd be like hillbillies playing jugs, but that's just me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. To me, it's gonna
Yeah.
be probably like a Metallica song, or
Yeah.
if I figured that punch.
No, definitely has like an awesome high energy feel to it.
But that's what I want in it. I just want my point is to be entertaining and to have fun in
Oh,
space.
yeah.
That's why I try not to call it sci-fi, right? Because
Yeah.
I try to say more space fantasy. Like I'm
Mhm.
highly inspired by anime, European
yeah.
comic, like Cowboy Bebop. I love that stuff. Like recently, I discovered like one of my friends was like, "Sim, do you know Outlaw Star?" I go, "No, but that's one
Oh,
of the
Outlaw
titles."
Star is awesome.
I'm like, "That's one of the titles that I thought of for Nat the Merc back in 2009 when I was working on it for in college for 3D project." Because
Yeah.
Nat started as a 3D animated project in college in 2009.
Dang.
Yeah.
So much like me, you've had things in the oven for quite a while.
Yeah. But yeah, where was I going with this?
Outlaw Star.
Yeah, Outlaw Star. So I'm like, okay, he goes, you should check into it because it's pretty much the same feel that you're going for, with the fact that there's space fantasy. It's magical. You have a whole type of characters, like you have a warrior princess, you have a freaking pirate, you have this. I'm like, okay. So I
Yeah.
checked into it because at first I checked the trailer. I'm like, robot arms on spaceships.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Like when you first look at it, but the intro music, the intro is so catchy. You're like,
Oh, it's so good.
I give it a try. So I love the hell out of it. So it did not inspired, not because I watched it after, but yeah, it's still in the same type of vibe.
Well, it's funny too because I just caught wind of Outlaw Star maybe like 6-7 months ago,
Uh-huh.
just on a YouTube channel. They're like, you should check this out. And I was like, okay, I'll definitely check it out because this guy does really good reviews. And I was like, why does this seem so familiar? And then I
Because
watched another review and it was like, oh, this is where Firefly got everything from.
yeah, but
Oh,
there's also another thing you need to know. It came out at the same time. It was part of an experiment where they wanted to do a more westernized, different type of take on their
mm-hmm.
stories, and it was part of a three series launch. Cowboy Bebop, Trigon, and Outlaw
Okay.
Star.
Okay. That all makes sense then because they all
Right?
have that vibe. Yeah.
Now it makes sense. And I'm a big fan of the two other ones, which influenced
Oh yeah.
me a lot. So I'm like, yeah, no surprise.
Yeah. Trigon's awesome. Bebop is, it's such its own thing.
But you were one of the first ones to spot the homage to Trigon on that Blood Hunt cover.
Oh yeah.
That pose when he's sitting on the dead bodies. He has the pose. Dude, that's Trigon. I'm like, yep. Dude, I love that series.
Oh, it's so good, so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand when you're making this stuff. And that's why one of the things that I like about your project here is that, like you said, you're having fun with it. You're enjoying the process. You're enjoying making it, and it definitely comes across when you actually show people this, and they're like, "Oh fuck, this guy's actually enjoying the work." And it's not you're sitting there like, "Oh, I got to get this done."
No, it's you know how it is. Like there's project that you can like, right? You're having fun, but there's project that's it's
yeah, it's not even like you're working or doing anything. It's just like the time slips away and you're like, oh crap, I gotta eat. Like
yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Oh, I spent 2 weeks on that piece. Oh, it's okay. You know that cockpit scene that everybody likes when he's riding the ship, dude. That thing took me like 2 weeks to draw. To draw
is that
ink.
one up here? Or?
Yeah. Right on top where it says "Welcome to Tales from the Netverse." Okay. That's a page from the actual Nat the Merc series.
Oh, that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I already have 5 pages done of the Nat the Merc series.
Nice.
I'm just focusing on Tales from the Netverse and then so on and so forth. And you're gonna be seeing cool stuff coming in Inkslayer.
Hell yeah! So with Inkslayer, that is you, Scotsman, Inkspot,
and Beacon now. Yep.
And Beacon. Nice.
Yep. So in there we're gonna have like a Nat short story with Lowani, right? There's gonna be Metal Mayhem Rock Boy, a little kid that gets his powers from the rock gods and have a axe guitar. There's gonna be Hero by Scotsman, which is a space samurai type of thing.
Nice.
And you're gonna have the Space Dwarf with a jetpack and a rocket-powered axe from 7 Legions. Come on. And I'll be drawing it.
That's awesome.
Most of them it's me penciling, and we're all sharing things. So the idea all came up from I like to pencil a lot, and I'm more I can pencil faster than I ink, right?
Oh yeah.
Scotsman is inker by trade. He used to ink for DC and Image.
Yep.
And you have Inkspot. Do I need to say more?
No.
So we all went like, dude, if we just streamline our shit, we could do. Yep. So that's why we're streaming, and then Beacon, and then we want, Beacon is our bro, so Beacon is in. That's for sure. Beacon's our come on. Beacon's our little bro.
Yeah.
And if you follow Beacon, you've seen a little writer becoming a full-on colorist, because that's his colors, dude. He went Super Saiyan. He's the one coloring Royal Rumble.
Yeah, man. And this is his right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That looks really good.
And, dude, he wrote, he didn't know how to draw. Right now, he draws pretty good, too. He's coming for everybody's job.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like when you get somebody that, like, hasn't done it, but then they start hanging out with people that are doing it, they seem to pick it up way faster.
Yeah, dude, he's been on Doodle and Chill every episode right now, and he's been upgrading, leveling up, and he does original art, and he gives it away to his new backers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really dig the way this is looking.
If you go down, you see the page samples too, and she's the Queen of Saltonia.
And Saltonia is the planet that she lords over.
Yep. And every 100 years, the technically the royalty or the representative of the royalties show up and do a type of like Coliseum fight, but
Yep.
one-on-one elimination thing, and the winner
Yeah,
becomes immortal.
gladiatorial.
Yeah, and the winner becomes immortal for 100 years, and not immortal that they can't die, immortal that they don't age, and they gain their planet gains the total control of all the supplies, resources of the sector
Yeah.
of their solar sector.
So there's a big investment and
Yeah,
payoff. Yeah.
and she's been winning for the last 10 wins.
Yeah.
So she's been ruling for 1,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I get the nice little undertone of some of the women trying to keep her ageless beauty as well.
but she's more of the warrior type, right?
Oh yeah,
So there, I like the fact that it starts like you have the Darius, the redskin
yeah,
reptilian, gives her the big finger, and then she declares, you know what? Let's make this a Royal Rumble, so it's a free for all.
yeah,
So she decides to take them all on at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah. The classic last man standing kind of a thing, and
Yeah. And he freaking nailed it. And if you don't know Seven Legion, go check it out. Totally worth it. I liked it a lot.
Seven Legion. Why does that sound familiar?
Right now it's in demand, and he emails it right away. And
Okay,
that's the Nat and Zed story. That's the interior cover. Because every story have its own interior cover.
Oh, okay. So just as you're going through the pages, that'll be the cover.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
So it's like a collection of little floppies.
Yeah.
And the first those first pages that were all like penciled in 2016, and I redid all of them and continued the story because it's something I started in 2016 for a campaign I did in Kickstarter called the Artisim.
Okay.
And I wanted to finance the actual series, and I put it on the shelf because I lost everything in 2016 too.
Oh, that sucks.
Computer
man.
crashed. That crashed even the external drive. Yeah, like a virus. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I had something very similar happen to me. Like a year ago with my computer. Just went onto a website. I was looking for like new video editing software, and went onto this website and it's like enable cookies. And I never do that, but I pressed it, and as soon as I did, I got a BIOS attack. So it completely bricked up my my motherboard. So it's like, oh no.
Then you want to want to take your life, and you don't, and you plow through and you redraw everything. So I redrew the entire, Luani story, the not stuff. I lost 40 page of Blood Hunt back. No, not Blood Hunt. The Royal Rumble was all drawn. I had all the stuff that I had from Wolf Dragon. It took me like to go through all drives and all this and all that to find this. The first story of Nat. Dude, good thing that my printer still had the printing file from 2016. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
From the artisan, because even though the Kickstarter didn't fund, I still printed it, right?
Yeah.
And I sold it to some people. And I sent them a message back then, and they go, "Yeah, we still have the print file." And I'm like, "Holy!"
Oh, that's awesome.
So those are the ones you see there, the colors. That's all getting recolored now.
And Scotsman's doing all the recoloring on these ones?
Yep.
Nice.
There's only the Nat Prelude one stays like that because it was always meant to be pencil, because that's a long time ago. Get it? Even in the universe, it's like it's a part of Nat's origin. So it's a long time ago. So I always left it in pencil.
Yeah, leave it in the black and white in its origins.
Where everything else is gonna get redone, and at the bottom there you see a preview of Nat the Merc, the series, which is also going to be recolored by Scotland.
Nice. You got the stretch goals there. There's the team. Awesome, awesome.
So it's me doing the writing, the illustration. My bro David Villa is doing the lettering, the guy that did the Blood Hunt ones. Michael Beacon, Scotsman, Inkspot on colors, and Steve Dye is my editor.
Nice.
So
Always
we
good
got,
to have an editor. That's
yep.
one thing I gotta reach out to a couple people to for issue 2 of Caius.
Well, yeah, he's the one that started editing my first pages when I started working on Not the Merc, the first pages there,
Yep.
and he was my editor on Blood Hunt, and he does a great job, and he also does my print file. So
Oh, that's great too. Having somebody
yeah,
who knows how to do that stuff, key.
yeah, a guy that works with magazines for years knows how to prepare a print file.
Man, that's like if anything that holds up the whole printing process, it's that thing where you just like the file size and all, especially with color.
Mhm.
That's why I went with black and white. I was like, I don't even want to deal with color right now.
What do you know? Why do you think I was able to like? It took like two proof. The second proof was perfect because it took a balance for the technically the cover, and there was enough set problem, like a pagination problem,
Yep.
and that was fixed pretty quickly, like one shot. And then,
Yep.
dude, you saw within 2 weeks when I said I got the books. 2 weeks
Yep.
people started getting their books.
Yeah.
Even in the middle of the freaking COVID, because I found out that doing bulk shipment is not affected by any of the restriction,
Nope.
especially when you have a business account.
Yep. It's just like right
One
on
day.
through.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, little things like that too make a big difference. Where it's just like, oh, this is a big order. Okay, just right on through.
Yep. Like he didn't like they were delayed one day, so they gave me a discount
Oh, that's awesome.
because they were late. But dude, it was supposed to be like one day. Like the next day he was getting it, so all he has to do after that is remail it in the States and with it.
Yep, done and done.
So that's why we can offer less. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
we can still mail everything in Gemini mailers.
Oh yeah, because it's crossed over, right? It's on the other side.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the fact that like that, I mean the only reason why I like Gemini mailers so far, there's other techniques I've seen that are pretty sweet, like the envelope with the cardboard thing and the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to us, it's kind of like we so want to make sure that
Yeah,
we
that
don't
it
have
gets
to
there.
send you another one,
Yeah.
that it gets there and it gets there in one
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah, it's the one downside of shipping Gemini mailers out of Canada because
Expensive.
it's literally like 1/5 of your shipping weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like because as you did, like you looked into it, I looked into it. I was like, there's actually no way I can ship with Gemini mailers from Canada and it be cost effective. It just doubles the price instantly.
Yep, it's between $22 to $25. Yep,
Yep, not doing that.
and that's why by doing what I did with Beacon is
Mhm.
me. I prepare the orders, put a number on it,
Yep,
with an address, just a
yep,
number and an address. There's no name, no nothing, and
yep.
send it in a box. And all he has to do is email it over there, and that's why we can do like even 2 books, dude. That's why we still charge $15 for U.S. Canada. Doesn't
Yep.
matter. It's like me here. Like, it doesn't matter if I sell one. If I send one book or two, it still costs me like between like what $12.
Yep.
Gemini mailer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that people don't look into or they overlook when they're doing their crowdfunders from Canada is the shipping. Because, when you're in the States, it's no big deal because they're like, oh, it's, United States Postal Service. It goes everywhere. But in Canada, it's just like, oh, they're going to get you. Oh, they'll get you.
Yeah, and the only thing that why me and Beacon are doing that is I help him with his international because UK, and those are cheaper for us.
Yep. Yeah, the one good thing I will say about Canada Post is that it is like literally flat rate.
Yeah,
But
Commonwealth. Yep.
yeah, but the downside is it's like you're 1 gram over and it doubles the price.
Oh yeah, dude, not even 1 gram, like 0.5.
Yep.
You go from 22 to 44. I was like,
Yep.
ouch, dude. There's some UK. I was like, oh wow.
Yep.
But still do it.
With your perks and stuff like this.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. I was going to ask if you did have a digital perk for overseas people.
Yes, I do for $20. I take off the price of printing, technically.
Yeah.
I thought that's pretty fair. You have the same. You have the same things that you don't have the printed books. So I'm like, I take away the pricing of the printing. And
yeah, because it's definitely one of the things that I'm looking into. But I got a slightly different model for my digital release.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be down the road. So what I'm going to the plan for me when I'm doing mine is I'm going to release issue 1, 2, and 3. The only way you're going to be able to get them is by print. And then I'm going to be doing the trade. And the trade is going to be like manga size, so it's going to be digest size.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, then I'm going to do a digital release at some point. And that digital release, that'll have all the extras, like the making of, the thumbnails, the script, all that kind of stuff. Because it's digital, I can throw all that in.
Mm-hmm. But do you still have a digital copy every time you do your campaigns, or you're gonna wait till the end?
I'm gonna wait till the end.
Well,
There's a reason for it. Trust me, I got it working.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe just the idea of ignoring some sales, because there are some customers that just like digital. But I get your point. So.
Oh yeah. Well, my whole thing with it is like the people that will want the digital will be more than willing to wait for it when it comes out, and the wait for it will be worth it because they're getting the whole thing plus extra goodies inside of it. So.
Yep. You get a bigger deal. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of like help me finance the book, and after that you'll have a full release.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it'll definitely have a lot of fun extras that won't be in certain printed versions, just because it's I don't have to print anything. Like.
Well, me so far, I've noticed that sometimes I sell there's some people that buy the physical book and will go buy a digital copy as well.
Yeah, just so they can read the digital copy and keep it in pristine condition. Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things I do that I wait till I mail everything, and once I notice that most people, like I try to pay attention, and most people when I see that most people got their physical book, then I release the digital.
Yeah.
Except for Blood Hunt. If somebody goes in and buy the digital copy of Blood Hunt right now, I fulfill it right away.
Yeah.
And if you want one of the extra copies that I have of Blood Hunt, the first printing, it's right there with Tales on an Adverse in the sim pack.
They got the sim pack right there.
Yep.
Nice.
Then some people recommended me to do this 5 for $100 as a retail bundle.
Yeah, because comic book shops, even though they're kind of like dwindling and stuff like that, they are going to catch on at some point that not absolutely everybody hops on these campaigns, and people are late to the party, and they will want to hop on and they will want to get this. So. And
somebody asked me, what's the deal in there? I'm like, well, you get 5 copies of the book, right?
Yeah.
But you also get all the extra perks that are unlocked. So every copy comes with, the 2 prints, the stickers that are unlocked, a sketch card, right? Yeah. There's one sketch card that comes with the entire pack for sure, right? And that's a lot of extra values. Yeah. And they all come bag and boarded.
Yep. Yeah, I've talked to a couple of comic book shops and like why they don't get on certain crowdfunding campaigns, and the only reason they all say is like, everybody who wants it is already getting it. It's like, no, that's not true.
Nope.
That's completely not true. And it just seems really like, and I get it from their point of view because they can't fund every crowdfunding campaign because that's a lot of money to invest in potential sales that will never happen. But they're buying Marvel, so they're doing the exact same thing anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
And there's a lot of floppies that you buy that are like, okay, garbage.
Yep, that's literally birdcage liner.
Yeah. How many filler issues did you get before with Marvel and DC when they used to have 200 titles a year?
I know it was getting ridiculous there.
And then after that, it was crossover among everything because you had to buy this, and then even if you only care about X-Men, you had to go buy the Spider-Man, grab an issue of Strange.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, it was interesting because when I started collecting comic books, it was right after the Inferno saga.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it just wrapped up, and I just started getting into comic books right then and there. And the next kind of big crossover was Acts of Vengeance. And then that's when they had all the supervillains were battling each other's superheroes, and you didn't need to read everything. It was kind of just given to you. Spider-Man's battling Doctor Doom. Oh, okay, that doesn't happen all the time. Cool. And it wasn't
Hmm.
like I had to go buy 40 different issues to get the whole thing. I could still just buy that one thing and still be part of it without feeling like I missed out. And it back in the day, that was much more appreciated now that I look back at it. But then it got into the whole like crazy crossover. You have to buy everything to get the full story. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that kind of money or that time to read everything.
Mm. The-
So with well, obviously you loved heavy metal growing up.
yeah, that's why I even have a Bisley original there.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up here. There it
And
is.
the print was unlocked, and like everybody was gonna get a print when we if we reached the 10K before we go to print.
Mm-hmm. Let's pull that up there. Bam.
Yeah, the original art is 11 by 17 ink wash, so
Nice.
it's really nice.
Well, it's Bisley. Of course it's nice.
I really like the one he did for Wolf Dragon too.
Oh, you did one for Wolf Dragon? That's awesome.
Yep.
Obviously, you haven't shown that out anywhere.
On my Twitter.
Oh, it's on
Hold
your
on.
Twitter? Okay.
Hold on,
I'll have to scope it out.
Let me see if I can pull it out quickly. Should be here.
Now, with heavy metal, like, were you introduced to it like a lot of us? Like, did your uncles just have it laying around with, like, Conan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much how everyone that I talked to got introduced to it. Like,
I think it was like those type of magazine, and I saw one of those Bisley covers. Because one of the things that hit me the most was Frazetta back then, right? And I was a big fan of the Death Dealer, and it mesmerized me. And
now,
like you said,
did you have an uncle that had a poster of like Death Dealer or the Polar Bears?
Nope.
Oh, okay, it's just something that, like it's another one of those things that.
No,
that
my uncle had a heavy metal magazine on his porn.
Oh yeah.
And the heavy metal magazine interested me more.
Yep. I remember being a kid looking through like old Playboys and be like, "Oh, let me read these cartoons."
No, I remember like going in his room and seeing that thing, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I remember that it was the cover of the bike. That's why I did that painting there.
Okay,
remember that Bisley bike cover that was part of the calendar too, because he had the calendar that he did have.
Yeah.
And that's what got me like into it. Yeah. And after that, you go to the gas station, Depanar, and would find it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Depanar corner store.
Yep. Yeah, I miss the days of like just being able to like go to the corner store, pick up a comic book, or even heavy metal back in the day.
But they made it impossible at this point.
Yep.
Because if you do that, they don't want to pay much, and there's a lot of return, and they're not resellable, so it's all lost. So they made it impossible for people to do it unless you're a big company.
Well, I think that the way that they have to change their model is because like I'll still go check out the magazine racks, and I will scope and on average your magazines are $7 to $12, and that is the price range that they seem to be more than acceptable. And like I'll sit there and I'll just watch, and like there's still kids that go up and go look through the Archie or whatever it is they have available, and they still will pick it up and go like, "Hey mom, can I grab this like Barbie whatever it is?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll grab that." Okay. And it's $11 still.
Quick question for you: on your side of Canada, right? Do you when you go to the magazine, do you see heavy metal?
Let's see.
I mean, there's no magazine shop. I've done them all every time. Like they don't. Nobody holds it.
Let's see.
I ordered them like when I want them. I used to order them from the web store. I ordered the sketch covers they had like for the last the 200 issue.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even see those. If I go to like Chapters Indigo, because they have a really robust magazine section, it's usually there. But if it's like, yeah, it's not like Shoppers or anything like that.
I know.
Yeah,
it's nowhere. Like right here, right in the middle of freaking Montreal City, dude. You go to those big magazine in the shopping center, Alexis Neon and stuff like that in St. Catherine.
Yeah,
nobody holds it.
I think it's because they're going through Diamond.
Really?
I think so.
Huh. Interesting.
But don't quote me on that. That's just an assumption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought they were dealing more with magazines, but yeah.
I would think so too.
Or bookstores, distribution, like
Yeah.
novel and shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because me, I think that's one of the future that we should all look up to.
oh yeah,
Either sell your own thing on eBay, on Amazon, create your own store, or something like that, ally yourself with other people or something.
Yeah.
Or, people need to think about checking distribution with book. Like, like even Marvel and DC, they don't really care anymore about the floppies. They've been investing all their money into reprinting those big books for the libraries, the bookstores, all those omnibus and shit.
Yep.
That's where all the money's been doing.
Yeah, they kind of know that they're like the stuff they're making is garbage, so that they're like, hey man, we got a wealth of stuff back here that we can just reprint. We already own it, people love it, and they'll rebuy this.
Yeah.
I was just watching. Do you follow Super Eye Patch Wolf at all?
Nope.
So he's a YouTube guy. He follows a lot of anime and manga, and he just did his Shonen Jump so far, and I think it's like the early 2021. And he brought up something really, really interesting, and that's how Shonen operates. You get a big, thick magazine, and it's distributed everywhere in Japan, but they've also found a way to make their digital sales just as important as their actual book sales. And for some reason, they've been able to figure it out as where the West hasn't. Like there's some weird disconnect where people still value what's being read over there, either digitally or on paper, but over here it just kind of gets lost,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's really interesting because the two biggest titles that are coming out for Shonen actually are not in print right now.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What's the name of the channel again?
Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Super Eye Patch Wolf. Okay. Wolf.
And when he does like a little sales report on how much Demon Slayer has sold, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so much. Like 82 million copies in the past 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
I go sub to his channel. I'll check it out later.
Yeah, it's one of the latest ones he just put out, and it's a really, really good, interesting breakdown of like that side of things.
That looks interesting. The current state of Shonen Jump. There you go.
Yeah, he usually does like seasonal breakdowns of like, every spring, fall, winter, and then you can kind of catch up what's, at least from his point of view, what's going on.
There you go. It's in my to watch later.
Nice.
So yeah, dude, it was a freaking honor to have Simon Bisley doing that character.
That's badass.
I think that's back in 2015.
And was this at one of the cons as well?
Yeah, in Montreal. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, I used to meet him there every year, and once we went to the Fofun Electric, that bar.
Yep.
Translated in French, it's electric butt cheek. it's a technically like a metal bar, like half, not really a biker bar, but biker feel type of thing.
Yeah. A place where you can relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a big downtown bar mixed with a sugar shack.
Okay.
With the big wooden tables in the middle, they're huge. That's what I mean. It's like very casual type of thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And one of the only places you could hear Metallica. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
like then, but not now.
Yeah, like nobody's playing anything in any bars right now. Just crickets.
Yeah, there's no bars. There's no nothing.
No.
To be honest, at where I'm at in life, I don't miss them.
No, God, no, me either. Like, one of the last shows that I went to before everything got locked up was a drum and bass show, and I'll still go to those. Like, if it's a wicked DJ, I'll definitely hit it up. But hitting up like a regular club, I'm like, get me out of here.
Dude, last time I went to party, I was finishing university. No, I'm done. Like not like in 2016, because when I went back to studying 3D.
Yeah.
I went to that. I used to like going to Igloo Fest. That was freaking cool.
Eagle Fest.
Igloo Fest.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was the big, rave after hour type of like, you had like all that type of like, drum and bass and all
Yeah,
stuff, but everything's built out of ice and snow. Like it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
snow
yeah.
castle.
Yep,
The bar is made out of ice, and
yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
that was freaking cool. I have to admit.
Yeah,
But maturity, kids, family,
yep,
career,
yep.
choices, no regrets.
The important stuff.
That's why I learned from experienced people a long time ago that you need to experience and have fun early in your life so you don't live with regrets later.
Yep. Nope, that's definitely key because you don't want to be on your deathbed going like, "Oh man, I wish I would have did X, Y, and Z." Like,
Yeah, pretty
yep,
much.
yep. Well,
So
it's
the book is going to be, by the way, the book is going to be a full 80-page book.
oh, that was one of the next questions I was going to ask is how long the book was going to be. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like 76 page of like story and 80 page in total.
Nice.
And you get a preview of the Luani story for the second issue.
And Luani.
Luani, you don't really see her in that one. She's the one you see with the green hair.
Over here, yeah.
Yep, and you see
Okay.
in the page that's still black and white in the Nat and Zed part. If you go down,
Shoo.
she's not on the cover because
Rare.
she's not very much in that one. You get glimpse of her. You get to see the two version of her because that's her too coming out of the window.
Okay,
She
up there, yeah.
like one thing that I'll tell you without too much spoiling is she's fully synthetic. So she was made to be the body replacement of a dying Rose. So that's why if you look in the first panel, she looks a bit like her.
Okay,
In the
okay.
second one, she doesn't,
Yeah. She's
and
taking
you'll
on her
find out
own
why. Yeah.
characteristics and yeah. Yeah, it's one of the other things with trying to sell these projects is giving enough people information without giving away the goods, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
man.
she's the only and unique fully synthetic being in the universe.
So full on synthezoid.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
A bit like like what is it, Johnny Five? Like it was made to be a body replacement, but she became her own person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would ask questions, but I know the answer is you'll just have to read it.
Go ahead. You never know. Remember,
Uh,
they're still like I treated like the three first stories were out, so I treated as in you could read more.
yeah. So with Luani, is she like AI or is she like a constantly learning? Like the synthetic brain is very much humanoid, where she learns from the experiences, or is it like very AI based, where she could just like run scenarios in her head and be like, "This is the outcome."
No, she becomes fully sentient.
Okay.
She becomes her own person. When you meet her, she's just locked into service for somebody. Like
Oh, okay.
she was programmed to serve the big boss of a place called Planet 69, and
Why
you'll
is it
find
called
out
that?
because it's the big black marketplace. So
Okay.
the place the original place for a place called Boobarama.
For Boobarama?
Yeah.
Nice.
So all type of trafficking goes around there, and
All kinds of scum and villainy.
that's why around it's not really a planet. It's like a chunk of a planet that's being kept in orbit somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And in it you have all those things, and there's a moon and like an artificial moon that's all black, like a black ball from pool, and it has 69 on it.
That's awesome. So
And
if
to
you're
me, it's
out in
like,
space, you're going to see that thing. Yeah.
pretty much. I just
That's
thought it was
awesome.
funny. So, but the Planet 69 story is actually the first story I've ever written about Nat, and that's the one that I totally lost, other than the animatic that I had. And
Oh, you had an animatic?
yeah,
Ah,
and I still have the first one, so that's what I'm using, and I'm redrawing the entire thing as we speak right now. That's what I'm laying out for issue
okay.
number 2.
Yep.
Like that's why like the page you were seeing, that's like a wink, like Goes, where the fuck were you for like the last 3 months? Well, remember the last time I told you I was going to a job on Planet 69? Yeah, well, that happened. Then when that was done, yeah, that
Yeah.
shit happened. Then that asshole happened, and then and now here I am, type of
Yeah.
thing.
A series of events took place. Now I'm here.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So he hints to the Planet 69 story. You see some like two panels from it, but in the issue 2 you get the full story
Nice.
because the idea is I wanted to introduce you Nat in the first one, right? And the two supporting characters, which is Bob is like his dad. Bob is an
Okay.
assassin droid that was sent to kill him.
Now, was that this guy right here?
Yep, that
Okay.
was because he's born from an illegal experiment from an alien race, and Bob was sent to terminate that experiment and anything that has to do with it. But when he got to the point of killing Nat, the baby, he didn't,
Okay.
and decided to become his protector. So he became sentient,
At that moment.
free from the Federation control. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how they met. So I also wanted to. That's why you get to meet him, and then you get to know Rose because she's like the big sister, and she was brought into the universe because she was a character that I designed to be cancer, to raise money for breast cancer,
Okay. Okay.
along in 2010, right? And I did prints, and I used to collect money for it. And my mom got diagnosed with cancer in 2014, and she only had 5 months to live.
Ooh.
So what I did is I decided to integrate the character. My mom was a big fan of pirates and dolphins. So I took that character and I made her into Elena Rose, the pirate queen.
Okay.
So she's like the big sister
Yeah.
of Nat. And the last story is Nat and Zed because I want you to understand the friendship between him and Zed. He's like his little brother, you know.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So
after
very
that,
much like a full family vibe going on here.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you get to meet them. Then her, Elrica. Well, you don't know what the hell she has to do in there. You just don't, right? The second issue, well, it's gonna be more. It's more centered around Nat and Milani,
Okay.
and you'll get to meet somebody else called Defcon.
So, how many issues do you plan on doing this before you put it into a trade?
Into a trade.
Yeah.
What I would like to do, to be honest, I would like to get those two Tales and Adverse out because I had 3 planned. Like I told you, I'm thinking of trimming down to 2 maybe, so I
Okay.
can get to Nat the Merc. Nat the Merc, there's 3 issues I want to do for the first arc, and you know, if everything goes well, one of the things I'd like to do is to do one big trade with Nat the Merc and maybe go in and put in the short stories of Tales and Adverse in chronological order.
Okay. So go and rearrange them so you can read them in the proper way that it's laid out.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to do at the end.
Yeah, it'd definitely be fun for people to read it too that have already read the book and then get that and be like, oh, okay, this is the order, the sequence of events. And
Yeah, I was right. This is where it goes. Yeah, but that's the thing is, if you read both, I'm trying to make sure that everything connects, that you'll
oh
get
yeah,
it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like if you see the look, I'll give you a little wink there. Oh, if you read the story, when you read the story of Royal Rumble, there's no allusion to Nat that much, right? You don't
yeah,
even get to see Nat that much unless if you look in the stadium
yeah,
or in the ships are in orbit around the planet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
yeah. The little cameos going on.
No, but that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Later in the series, Nat's gonna go. I need to go see Elrica, and he's gonna walk in during the Royal Rumble.
yeah, and it'll be from his point of view.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's my entire thing I want to do. So you
nice.
see what I mean? What I'm saying? I'm trying to set up in a short period of time the universe. So
Yeah,
when I get to Nat the Merc, you're aware of the universe and everything, and you get those cool moments. Oh yeah, that's from there. Oh,
that's when this
where that
happens.
fits.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a lot of fun, man.
Like in one of the story that I want to do in the Tales of Nevers, you're gonna get to see when Nat and Zed met and what happened to his family.
And Sam.
Yeah, Zed is inspired by like it's everybody's like, oh, reminds me of this, remind me of Dax, remind me of this. I'm like, do you know what's the inspiration of him? Two of my favorite little creatures, Alf and Gizmo.
Okay.
I just put him orange because I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you,
it's kind of the kid thing, right? You know that orange is something that talks to kid. Look at Nickelodeon and all this thing, and come on,
yeah.
he's a ginger too.
Well, you got yeah, Goku, you got Naruto. They're always in like orange and blue, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That nice classic color combination.
And one of the things I don't know if you noticed, but I try to really vary the designs. Like
Yeah.
I want it to be clear they're not a team.
Yeah, but they're from a silhouette standpoint, they each stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you know that Rose is our own thing. You know that Bob and Zed are together because that's why they're technically I made them so a bit like back to back, you could say.
Yeah.
And you see that Erika is a bit apart and Zed in front. Well, just tells you that he's a little buddy in front.
Yep. I assume he gets into a lot of shit.
Mm,
Enough shit.
let's just say I don't want to spoil too much, but he's more badass than you can think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's not the one that gets more into shit.
Yeah. Maybe the one that ends shit, you know.
That's more than that.
Yeah.
Zed is like the stoner, but he's still the more wise guy, you could say.
Yeah.
Not a wise guy, but wise.
Yeah, the dude who can actually fucking put a period to the sentence, kind of a thing.
Yeah. He's the more grounded one, you could say. He's the mechanic, while Nat is the techno. He's a technomancer. That's the only thing I've ever can hint to him. He's technically a technomancer. But
Cool.
you're gonna need to buy the book to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
And what he can do.
Let's see. And
Because another thing I'd like to hint, that's not a cybernetic arm, and let's leave it at that.
Okay. I'm gonna pop the trailer on here.
Sweet. Red Gaze did an amazing job. Oh, no audio. You don't have the sound?
Oh, I don't have audio on? Oh, crap. How do I get the audio going on this?
You have to stop it, reshare it with audio. Because you shared the window without in the beginning.
Ah, okay.
You stop sharing.
There it is.
Boom.
Do I gotta stop the screen?
I don't know. Did you have the option of putting the audio on?
Cam, screen share.
Because usually you have to restart the screen share when you forgot it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's in the window share screen that you put audio on.
Where is it? I'm not seeing it.
No, you have to stop your own screen share. Just stop it. Like stop sharing, not just on the StreamYard.
Oh, I'm an idiot when it comes to this.
That's all good.
All right. Well, this is obviously something that I'm going to have to figure out. So, you do not get the trailer, unfortunately.
Let me fix that. There you go.
Tales from the Napverse. This ongoing anthology collects short stories introducing characters within the Napverse and are all connected to the main series, Nat the Mermaid. This 64-plus page perfect bound anthology series collects short stories introducing Nat, Lawani, Rose, Zed, and other characters within the Natverse that you'll get to know and love in this prelude. volume contains 2 previously published Nat stories, as well as the previously published Helena Rose stories, introducing you to those characters. In addition, you'll also be receiving 2 brand new stories by Simon SIM Pothier. Royal Rumble, colored by Seven Legions Michael Beacon. Also, Nat and Zed, colored by Spartan Scotsman of Xenotype. Arm up and fire off into the Natverse.
Right on, right on.
Yep. I started doing little animations too, and then I'm like, dude, this is gonna be crazy.
Yep.
But one of the things I told myself, I'm gonna try and do little animations like that for each little campaign and try and build up to a bigger one slowly but surely.
Yep, just do the little bit of a time, and next thing you know, you'll actually have a nice little catalog of all your preset animations, and you can use that everywhere.
Yeah.
But as you know, and I know, animating takes a long time.
Yeah, it also does join comics, so sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And
yeah, which one do I want to do?
Me, I went like I'll put more of my energy on the book, but dude, I'm already working on a second little animation like that for the second one where you saw it where he's jumping out the plane.
Yep.
That's gonna be the next one I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah. And it's fun too. Like once you get into it, you get to see your characters moving around, and it's just like, yeah, that's awesome.
Like one of my ideas to actually do like something that's like the Outlaw Star intro, where you see him running, getting shot, then jumping, then you see the ship fighting, and then cut to a still scene of the hair flowing of Luani.
Yeah,
and then another action shot.
Oh yeah. See, that's why I like the old like intros from like the early '90s and the mid '90s, is because it's, they had to be really smart with their animation. They didn't have all these like special effects, so it was just like they had to do like the cut across the screens or the pull-ins and stuff like that. So
yes, I'm still sometimes just with the hair animated, but dude, it's you have to. It's expensive and it's storytelling, right? It's
and there's something about the look of it too. Like it looks of that era, and I really appreciate that kind of stuff. So.
Like I was studying, like there's the guy that did that X-wing TIE fighter thing.
Oh yeah, so
dude,
good.
I'm a Patreon of his, and I check how he's doing it because I studied 3D animation. You know it.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck did he do this? Because we tried this before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did he get around that little detail thing? Like as if there's. I'm like, how the fuck? And I check and I'm like, oh motherfucker. Do you know what he did?
Which one? Because I saw the one where he did like the one of the ship where it like pans across and like cuts in like that. Yeah.
And the one with being the patron, I had access to the one where you see the little droid and the camera spins around when the droid with the eye, the camera.
Oh, I don't think I've
anyways,
seen that one, no.
What he does is you have the really low res freaking model, right? And he does an outline render that only renders the outline with a white inside with a So after that, what he does is the thing is, if there's too much details, like if you put details on the ship, like too many little squares and shit, it'll bug out like we used to have all the time.
Yeah, the line will thicken up, and even if it's one pixel, it'll blow out to the next one at that distance. Yeah.
But the thing is, with 4D Cinema 4D there, Cinema 4D, right? You can export it and import it directly in Clip Studio, frame by frame, all the freaking thing, and then he just goes and draws the details.
Yep. Yeah, so he can clean up what he wants, keep what he wants, omit what he doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep your level of details at a certain point. Then you're okay for the render. Then you go in and you draw in, and after that you put you render on a different mask, render mask.
Yep.
The reference of where the character would be.
Yep.
And then you go in and you draw.
Yep. And it's that thing too where it's just like these are quick workarounds, but there's no working around the hand drawn part. But that still do that. But it looks awesome.
But the thing though, it's like, dude, they're what they're actually doing is using the 3D rendering of the camera. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because after that, they still go in and draw those ships. It's just that you have the base, and you're like,
Yeah, as long as you get your camera movement and your 3D object in there, you just do what you do over top of it, and
Yep.
yeah,
And that one came out nice. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it.
yeah, that dude is really really good for kind of thinking around the box. And
Yep.
There was a one where he has like the it was the Metroid one where I think they're coming into one scene like that, and everyone's like, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "Dude, it's just a flat painting on a 3D object." And everyone's like, "Oh, it's so simple. Like, why didn't I think of that?" But it looks so awesome the way he did it. It looks like so much more work was done. He's like, "No, it's just a flat painting on a 3D object."
Did you see the Street Fighter ones he did?
I don't think so. I saw the Star Wars one. I saw the Metroid one.
Find his channel, dude. You're gonna find it's gonna be a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, no, I follow him, but it's one of those things of just remembering, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like he did the Byron one, like he did a few Street Fighter, and they're pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, this is one of the other things too that I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to is like 3D, you've done it, but the stuff that Blender is doing right now, like
yeah, people are talking to me about it. I didn't hear about. I just heard about it not too long ago.
Dude, Blender is gonna come upside and smack everybody in the head here in the next couple of years. Like, first off, it's free. They're always updating it. They're always adding new stuff. I have a feeling that it's going to become industry standard within the next couple of years because.
Did they fix their interface?
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Oh yeah, like who else? They've also got like multi-million-dollar funding from like everybody, like across the board. Ubisoft, Facebook, EA, like just tons of people. They're like, here, have tons of money. And the other thing with it too is they have a full working 2D setup now because of the grease pencil. So you can have that awesome blend like Cinema 4D has, the way that guy's working with it. All that stuff is in there too. If you want to check out something cool, check out Spitfire Storyboards on YouTube. And he shows how he's using Blender and grease pencil for doing his storyboards. And you're like, shit.
Right now, I'm checking it right now because I want to grab it.
Yeah, it's they've overhauled it because I remember hopping on what is it, Blender 2.6 and just looking at the interface, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? But just like any other 3D thing, you know, it's always overwhelming.
Now I'm getting the one I'm getting right now is 2.91.
Yeah, that's the latest one that they just put out.
Yeah, I'm downloading it right now. Check it out. Yeah, somebody was telling me about the new 2D animation project and this stuff. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, that thing you were talking to me, it's all in one now. Like, what?
Yep. Yeah, Blender, and like I said, they keep updating it. They keep on top of it. And anytime that there's an issue or a problem, somebody else has already either figured out a patch or figured out some kind of workaround. And it's like the community is growing exponentially every year.
Well, I'm joining. I'm definitely going to be checking that.
And it's it's one of those things like I was working in animation a couple of years ago, and I was like, I just assumed everybody knew about it.
I knew about it, but I hated it.
Oh, well, that's the thing is like it was at that point where everyone was like, ew, Blender. But now, since it like everyone forgot about it, now that they're doing this stuff, I showed people that have been working in the industry for years, and they're just like, wait, this is free? Like free? I'm like, yeah, you can download it right now. And they're like, how good is it? And I'm like, look at what they're doing.
I'm gonna check it out, that's for sure. Because last time I did it was meh. Like I really hated the old interface. Like
there's still a couple things with it too, just because it is a 3D vector-based program. Like if they could bridge that gap and make it work like either Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint, once they get that merged in, then.
But as soon as the interface, to me is as long as the interface is a bit user friendly, because you can go from Softimage to Maya to 3ds Max to 4D Cinema. No, not that much issue. It's just the nomenclature is different, right? The names of shit or stuff like that, or where to find them.
Hey, Darkside Comics, how's it going?
What's up? Like the hierarchy of it is different.
Yeah.
But you kind of find your way around it a bit, right? You stumble a bit, but Blender before was like,
Oh, it
what?
was a nightmare.
You're like, what? It's like going from Windows to Linux. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And just like all the weird things too, like, oh no, this button does this. Why? Every other button doesn't do that. Every other
I
like,
know.
yeah. But they finally did it where they're like, hey, if you're used to working in Maya, you can set it up so the setup is like Maya. You're used to working in this one, you can set it up like that.
Oh, I'm already falling in love with it.
So they took a lot of cues from the people out there being like, hey, we like this, but could you make it like give us the option where we can have the setup so it's something that we recognize and we know? And they're like, yeah, that's easy enough.
Ain't it weird that Blender got better when Softimage got canceled?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't it?
Where
And
did those guys
it's curious, right?
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah, when I was in 3D game art and animation, that was what they were forcing us to learn was Softimage. And
Oh, dude, I remember in college, right? When I first started studying in 3D, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Maya's the way. Maya's the way. Okay, Maya. Okay, go to university. Nah, dude. The renowned fucking school for 3D, right?
Yeah.
Internationally renowned. Like, okay. And they're like, Softimage. Like, you sure? Like, dude, I had an argument with the fucking two of the teachers,
Yep.
right? Trying to convince them that Maya is the way, and they're like, no. And two of them hated me for like the first year until we came back the second year, and everybody switched to Maya because Maya's the way.
Yep.
Dude, only one of them teachers looked at me and goes, fair enough.
What I think it is that, you know, probably the exact same thing happened with your school that happened with my school is they got sold the package and they're like, this is really expensive. We can't bail out on it. And then they were kind of like, well, Softimage isn't around anymore. So
yeah, but the thing is, before it was Softimage and 3DX Max was one company. Maya was one. What happened is right before when I was in college, it was just known that Maya bought Softimage.
Yeah.
University, the people in the industry, which do not like to lose their old ways,
nope.
we're like, nope, and not happening.
Yeah.
And not happening. Then Maya went, you know what? We gave you 3 years, guys.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta learn this new shit. You're gonna like it.
Maya's the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Even 3DX Max is not used as much anymore because Maya dude, it was built to make all.
Yep.
Without any add-ons, it's one big program that does all of it. Okay, it's $6,000 the program, but
well, there lies in the problem itself. It's $6,000, and now you have this upstart that you can just
for
go
one
download
computer
for free. Yeah.
For one computer.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I think Blender, like for the longest time, they were just like, yeah, you know, we're like the bastard child no one wants to talk about. But while they're not talking about us, we're gonna get our shit fucking tight.
Okay. For legal issue, I'm not gonna mention any names. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's an animation, a 3D animation that won some prizes and something, and people went to them and said, they got into an issue because they were saying that they didn't have the rights or something like that to buy their license and stuff like that, and they go, well, we use Blender. No, you didn't. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
We're sure we didn't. Well, prove it.
All the files. There you go.
I think that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a big point there where people didn't believe that you could do anything with Blender, and then now it's just like even in the animation world, like I have tons of friends that are being like, "Have you heard about Blender? Blender's pretty awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, man, fucking Blender's dope."
Yeah. It was I used to see it more. It's a good base to learn for free.
Yeah.
But you didn't have the particles or the all of that stuff that Maya and all that had before. Like Blender didn't have it. It was basically just 3D modeling and animation. You didn't have all the same texturing or.
Yeah. Well, go check it out because they have multiple.
But I saw
rendering.
I saw like 2 years ago that they released a little short movie 2-3 years ago. I thought it looked pretty awesome. but now they have live rendering, like
The
like
live
3ds
rendering is
Max,
so fucking good.
like 3ds Max, like.
Like go check it out. There's EV and Cycles, and there's another company that just brought out one called, I think it's called Malt or Beer, and that one is specifically made for non photorealistic rendering, so it's meant for cartoony stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's out there that's watching this later on, go check out NPR Blender on Facebook, and you'll see a bunch of really cool cartoony stuff being done in Blender. And they also have a YouTube show, and I think it's called NPR Blender. And every month or every other month, they post what people have been posting on their Facebook page, and tons of awesome stuff. And you're like, oh man, that's really, really dope.
No, checking quickly. Looks interesting. Blender 2.8 Code Quest.
Yeah, there's lots of cool things coming up too. They got the auto bodybuilder coming up. There's a company where you can just literally pull in the sliders and create character body models and facial models. Like, I think that's going to be dropping in the next couple months here for Blender. Obviously, that's going to have to be a paid for program, but if you want to like quickly have your 3D character build asset, that's a really fun way to just have that ready to go. Then you can bring that into Clip Studio Paint, and you always have a good model to work from.
No, checking here, export grease pencil to PDF, so you can use 3D models that looks like drawings, and then render them, and that's dude, that looks like Disney animation. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff being done with it. That who is it? The guys who did the latest Dragon Ball Z game, and was it the Guilty Gears game? Like, it literally looks like you're watching it playing anime. It's so good. And there's people inside the Blender community that are like taking that and like dissecting it and pulling it apart. And you're like, yeah, we're making it so we can figure it out and also do it in Blender.
And if I'm not mistaken, Blender is now compatible with most game engines, right?
There are ways of doing it, because you can bring stuff in from Unreal and Unity, bring it into Blender, and then port it back out to Unreal and Unity. It used to have like a straight like one-for-one crossover, but then I think they got rid of it a couple of years ago.
That's interesting. I'm definitely going to be checking into it.
Yeah, take a look, man. Like all their particle stuff is always getting revamped.
Is that what you're using for your animation?
No, I'm using Clip Studio for my animation.
Yeah, that's what I used last time too.
Yeah. I just wanted to actually figure out how to make it in Clip Studio Paint, because I was just like, all right, I know I can animate in this. I just have to sit down and figure it out, and got it to the point where I can get it to work. It's like me driving like a truck through a brick wall, but it's working. I'll get through.
Yeah, it's like I played with it a little bit, but it's very different from most animation project. Like the way, it took me like an hour to find how to fucking activate the onion peel, the onion eye.
Yeah.
And I tried to create when you do the copy paste thing,
it
doesn't work. I still haven't figured out how to make it work. Pisses the fuck out of me.
So it's the one thing that was very helpful was there was one YouTube guy, and he said, whatever you draw in Clip Studio Paint, it is there. You just have to activate it. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then he showed, like, you go in here, you do this, you click that, and now it's active on that particular layer. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna check into it a bit more.
Oh yeah. It's I'm gonna make a little bit of a series on it where like fuck, I must watch so many videos on like how to animate in it. But
if I was able to animate with the old program called Pencil, I'll be. Remember that?
Actual Pencil. I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that program at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. It is a program. It's what they gave us as a free program back then, because it is still there free. It's called Pencil, and it's a 2D animated program. It's very simple. You could do a few things with it, and that's what I started animating with. Like the little animation you see in on my YouTube, where the arrow with the zombie and the other thing was my first test that I played with that program.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's a free thing. Like I used to give it away to kids to just give them a little like, incentive into learning animation and stuff.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is having it easy,
Mhm.
having it very simple.
Oh, dude, I gave that to my kid and him and one of his friend. They really like his friend's dad used to work for Ubisoft,
Okay.
so they were kind of like two little kids geeking out from geek parents type of thing.
Yeah.
So they had those little pencil thing. They started playing with it, and then they started doing motion capture. Not motion
nice.
capture,
Stop
stop
motion.
motion. Yeah.
Nice.
And they had like they bought all my action figures and this, and they did like X-Men fights and stuff. It was fun. It was fun.
They must have been having a blast.
And one of the things I showed them is I made my big sentinel creature doing the robot dance.
Okay.
Then they go, "Oh, that's how it works."
Yeah.
Yep. Have fun.
Yeah, away you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be entertained for hours. Yeah.
Dude, they were entertained for years.
Oh yeah, man. And the best part with that stuff too is like once you learn it, it's in your back pocket always, and you can come back to it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because Logan's 19, right? So he's been through the phase of like unliking, losing interest.
Yeah.
Now he's getting back into it, like buying, like he got himself a little job. So he's starting to buy himself some, buying back like Star Wars comics and shit, getting back into buying stuff.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I got my own money. What do I want to buy? Yeah.
Yeah, but for a long time it was just video games. Now he's back into comics, Star Wars, movies.
Unfortunately, my kid, he never got into any of the Marvel stuff, never into any of the DC stuff. And trust me, I tried. Like I was like, hey man, let's read some comic books, and he just go through them. It was like, eh.
Yeah.
But then he got into like manga and anime, and he's like full on weeb with that stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's where your interest lies. Okay.
One of the things I thought was weird is that my kid got into Stephen King.
Oh, okay.
He watched like a few series that he liked, and he started getting into it.
Nice.
And he liked the Gunslinger. I got him all the books.
Oh, cool.
Like, I had them, and I gave it to him, and then I bought him the entire collection of Lock and Key.
Nice.
Because some people don't know, but that Joe Hill thing, that's Stephen King's kid.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now. Makes sense now.
That's his kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow that. Yeah.
Logan was like, seriously? Yep. Go ahead, enjoy.
Yeah, they've been trying to get that thing off the ground to like be some kind of series forever.
It was supposed to be on Netflix.
Yeah, it was supposed to be on like a lot of things. That was kind of like IDW's like Hail Mary pass for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they stopped because they saw that the Preacher didn't do as well as they might have thought it would. Because right now you have the entire PC thing and SJW, so you can't do anything. Especially with like the how dark Preacher gets. Dude, just the kid with the ass face.
Yeah.
That's the running joke, right? In the entire fucking book, is that everybody calls him that because it's when you find out why you're like, oh, they make you feel bad about it. That's the same thing with the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Like some people are like, a lot of people don't get the Joker. The Joker is supposed to be that psychotic motherfucker, right? That everything he does will make you feel bad that you're laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
it's a tragic joke.
Yes. Otherwise, it's not the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, remember, like, there was a scene, I think it was in the cartoon, when he gets pissed at Harley Quinn because she never got the joke.
Yeah.
Like, how does it work? But if I put it upside down, all the piranhas look like they're smiling.
It's like, but if you have to tell them, it's not funny.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to explain the joke.
Well, that's why I always thought the Jack Nicholson Joker was awesome, because when he did the thing of the cross chemical, like what was it, Ace Chemical Plant, and he's like, if you shower, you might die. If you use this deodorant, you might die. If you use the shampoo, you might die, or you might not. but the joke is the entire city just stinks.
Yeah.
Because, like, are you willing to die for your vanity? Roll the dice and see what happens. And then you see all the news reporters just look away like hell. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty damn funny.
Mm-hmm.
And only the Joker would be like, no, the real joke is this whole town stinks.
Or the entire story of his girlfriend. It's freaking dark as fuck, but it is funny. It's you can't make you can't make anything without breaking a few eggs. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Yeah. It's just like, god damn.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the fun part of the Joker. And that's why, some of the bad guys that we like so much.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I had to explain to kids is like, there's some characters that you like, but in real life you may not like, but they're funny.
Yeah. It's like, that guy's cool, but I don't want to hang out with him.
Like everybody likes to watch Futurama and like Bender, but nobody really wants to be friends with that guy like Bender.
No. He'll have your back until he doesn't, Yeah, when I was working at the liquor store, there was a character that's like a literal character. He rolled in, and right off the bat, I'm like, I have to watch this guy like a hawk because he's going to either steal stuff or he's going to be doing weird shit. And sure enough, like clockwork, man, like.
Yeah, but people forget that there's different type of characters. Like everybody's trying to say everything needs to be something you look up to. Everything needs to be this. No, okay. There's characters that are people that you look up to. There's some characters that you love because they're the perfect example of not to be. Example, Bart Simpson.
Yep.
And there's characters that you like to grow with, right?
Yep.
There's some characters you just like because you love to hate.
Yep. Yeah, just like wrestling. Everyone loves the heel. Yeah.
Darkseid is one of the perfect example that you can come up with. Or, Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is like, the reason why I don't really use him, he's a good example, but he's not really evil depending on how you
position him. Yeah, exactly. Because to the people that live in Latveria, he is Doom. He is the light,
Yeah, and he's not a dictator. Like people are free, people are this, people are happy. He's care of his people.
Literally the best healthcare.
To anything outside of Latveria, fuck him.
Yeah. It's like, if you're within my borders, you cool. If you're outside my borders.
Yep.
Yep.
And Darkseid is just plain fucking the mix of total evil. The conqueror. I don't give a fuck. Everything is lower beneath me, so nobody's worthy. So you're all like dogs.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with him too is that he exists in all dimensions simultaneously. Like, you may defeat me here, but I exist everywhere as Darkseid. Like, that's a collective consciousness throughout all the multiverses where he exists.
I have a character like that.
Will they be showing up in Nat the Merc?
Yep.
Nice.
Do you remember the Skullbusters?
Skullbusters.
I showed it around a while back. It's my team shot. There's a little rock dude.
Oh,
he's inspired by Jack Kirby, and he's a multi-dimensional creature.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, let me try and pull. If I can. Should be right here. No. All right. The mark. Books, Skullbusters.
Oh man, it's snowing. Oh my god, it's snowing in Vancouver.
There you go.
Let's pull them up here. Bam. Oh, okay. Yes, I did see that floating around.
See my little dude there?
Nice.
His name is Flint Rock. And he's technically my Jack Kirby as a character, so he has a little bit of Darkseid, a little bit of Grim.
Cigar chomping.
Yeah, big cigar. Nice. So he's a multi-dimensional creature. He exists in different dimensions. So this is where I go with Tales in the Nadverse and not the Merc.
Nice.
Like another thing that I hint to, because a lot of people have been asking me what's the arm, and the only thing I'll say, it's made out of fourth dimensional metal alloy.
And obviously that will lead into those guys, I assume.
Yeah,
Nice.
you could say, but they just say that they have a link. Yep, and like I said, he's in multiple dimension, that little rock, so you're gonna see him everywhere. Yeah.
No. Dark Size looks great.
Thanks. But that's my little team book, and that's gonna be part of the Nadverse too.
Dope.
But it's gonna be his own little thing.
Let's look. Take one.
Did you
Go
did
ahead.
you ever read a comic book called Alien Legion? It was from Epic Comics. There was a snake guy, was a legion of alien not mercenaries, but legionnaires. It was freaking amazing. That's a big inspiration for my stuff. I really love it.
Let's see.
If you've never seen it, it's freaking awesome.
No, I don't think I've ever read this.
It's one of my favorite sci-fi comics from the days. Epic was Marvel indie
Oh, yeah.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where Akira got released.
Akira
Epic.
was
Yep.
no, was it Epic?
Yep.
I thought it was at Dark Horse.
Nope. It got the original colored release was through Epic. It was the first time that they used digital coloring for a comic book.
Interesting. The more you know.
I barely know anything. It looks familiar, but I don't think I ever read it. But it looks dope, though.
It is. I tracked down all of it. I have the entire series, and I'm freaking happy with it. It's where Larry Stroman made his beginning too. His big name.
Right.
Yeah, it's co-created with Carl Potts and a few others too. Not Kurt Bruce. What's his name? Chuck Dixon wrote a bunch of them too. And a while back, they did a Kickstarter to bring them back, so they made a book, which I also were, but I was able to find. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, like the logo looks familiar, but I can't remember any of the covers.
Usually, when you see what's his name, Grimrod, people remember him a bit, or the Snake guy. Yeah, I like the Snake guy a lot. Grimrod is the one that has like a helmet that reminds you a bit of RoboCop.
That dude.
Yep. He's like reminds you of something out of 2000 AD.
Yeah, like that. That right there is very much. Yeah.
That's Grimrod. That's the psychotic one.
Yeah. Like that looks badass, like straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But what also looks badass,
Tales from Nether's.
Tales from Netverse.
Yeah, right now for $25, not only do you get the 80-page book, but till we go to shipping, because after that you have to cut down the extra perks that you unlock. But for now, $25, you get 2 prints, you get 3 stickers of the boys by 6 a.m., and you get a sketch card for the first 200 backers of a physical book.
Nice.
So you get a lot of cool stuff for $25, and between Canada and the US, it's only $15 shipping.
Very nice indeed.
Until fulfillment is done, because after that,
So with it being in demand, are you going to be wrapping this up anytime soon?
I'm hoping to be able to do it by the end of the month. Like I said, I'm just waiting on colors, and like we added like an extra 23-page Scotsman shop.
Well, just another full comic.
Yeah, he's like, just when we found the colors, he goes, dude, let's recolor them. I'm like, yep. Like I was like, I want to recolor them. Goes, go, I'll do it. Go, perfect. So that's what I say is as soon as the colors are in, we're going to print, and that's it. So if everything goes well by the end of the month, But Beacon's finishing up. He's doing the final touch up on his.
Nice.
Scotsman's finishing up the first the Nat and Zed story. That's what he's working on. That's a full 20-page book. And then after that, he has the 23-page of Rose and Nat to recolor.
Yeah.
And then we're going to print.
Dope. And are you going to keep it open in demand, or are you going to wrap that up once you go into print?
I'm debating it because the thing is, the reason why I can offer cheaper shipping for the US is because I do a bulk shipment, right?
Yeah.
So right now I'm debating the possibilities. I'm thinking of maybe shipping a few more. Maybe I could leave it open a bit more. Because you know how it is. And since we're international, we have not only an extra fee for transfer, we get an extra fee for being in demand.
Yep.
We have an extra fee for everything. Plus $25 when they shed you money.
Yeah.
So if when it becomes still, it's not really worth it to keep it going.
Yeah.
But what I like to
big point where it's just like, no, I got to wrap this up.
But I like to offer leftovers on my next campaign. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing I'm going to be doing with mine is like whatever doesn't sell, I'll have, carry it over to the next campaign. That way, whoever missed out, you'll be able to catch up.
But another thing also that I've noticed is that people also like it when you do issue 2 or something, right? They like to have maybe a variant cover of the issue 1, like a reprint.
Yeah, exactly.
So I also got that covered.
Always got to have it so people can get the back issue. That's always super important because no matter what, that's the one thing that people always say is like, oh, I'd like to join in on this, but can I buy the back issue in this set? And you have to have that in there.
And here, what's that cover is going to be?
Pop this up here. Bam. Nice.
That one is a full digital painting by me.
Nice.
So, nice little Luwani piece. That's going to be the cover for the reprint.
Very cool.
That you're going to be able to get because I wanted something that would look well with the variant cover by Inkspot.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? It's a complementary.
Yep. Bounce off of it very nicely.
Mm-hmm. And the other cover is, I don't know if you've seen it around yet. Number 2 cover right here.
Oh, no.
So that's the cover for Tales from the Adverse 2. That's DEFCON. That's one of the new characters you're going to get to meet. And the way that I've done it, you see you have Rose, Nat, Zed, Bob, Zed lined up, and you see her walking in the back, meaning she's the one that she's coming and she's going to be the center of everything. See, that's how I build it. So she's the centered, and then you have him that you're going to meet there, but that's not his actual size, by the way. It's just presentation.
For the frame of it all.
Yeah, it's more like he's hovering over the city in the back.
Yeah. Nice.
Because how could he fit there with the hands there? Come on.
Yeah. It's like, how can I get him in here?
Well, I got a really cool story for that guy.
Nice. Darkseid said Epic had a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sci-fi, and it was all creator-owned. They had a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate, like a lot of things that went to the wayside after a while.
But they if you ever hunt down those Alien Legion, I will tell you, be careful to not buy the same trade twice because they were reprinted, right, in two different companies. Some of them at Dark Horse, some of them at another one, Checkers or something, and some at Titan, right?
Yeah.
So the Omnibus reprints the original series, right, and then the other ones are the second series, where Larry Stroman joined in with Chuck Dixon and stuff like that, right? So when you get there, don't buy the Checkers and the Titan. You'll buy reprints. Be careful. Like, take the time to check what's in there, because they didn't keep the same titles, those cunts. No, at least if they kept the same title for the,
You'd be able to check it out and be like, oh, that's the same one, yeah. Darkseid, I'll catch you later there. Have a good one.
Later, guy.
All right. And,
that's another big fan of comics of all types.
I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to use the washroom, and I got some errands I got to run.
Mm-hmm.
So let everyone out there know what you got going on, where they could reach you, and all the fun stuff that you got planned for everybody.
Well, we'll start with you can find me on any social media under Simon SIM Pothier, the Artisim, or Inkslayer, which is with my buddies. I'm also on YouTube. I have Doodle and Chill every Sunday. And I might have another one that will be earlier on Saturday, maybe doing Saturday morning cartoons. I just haven't decided which day. And, you're always welcome, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I unfortunately am booking up my Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with work, and that's why I'm having my Monday through Thursdays open for this kind of like noon till 2-ish hangout promo thing. So,
and you can find me always with on Indiegogo with cool projects. Like right now, I'm working on Tales from the Adverse 2. Inkslayer will be technically a magazine-sized book with 5 floppies in it. So that's a project we're working on, and keep your eyes out.
And if
give
there's
me a follow.
anything that the ladies like, it's 5 floppies inside of anything.
But dude, I remember heavy metal before. What you had original stuff, you had short stories. Now everything's always to be continued.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, they're trying to get the hook in everybody.
Yeah.
I did like it when it was just the contained issues. It reminded me of like eerie, creepy, and heavy metal were all kind of that same vibe.
But when we were talking about it, we thought about mixing a heavy metal, but we also remember back in the days you would buy like a DC book and you had 5 floppies in it.
Oh yeah,
like you'd have an issue of like Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, or something like that, and a few other ones like Star Wars from Marvel, and it wasn't one big issue. And that's when we went, why don't we do that?
It's definitely a model that's worth looking into again. So
that's what we're doing. So you're gonna have 5 different IPs, 5 floppies, and we're starting with signing up for 3. So you get, when we're done at the end, we each have a book of 60 page.
Yeah, man, have a nice big thick.
And you guys get a full story, and you know.
Yep. Yeah, you get your money's worth.
Yeah, we're all trying to innovate and try new stuff, right? And
that's the thing. Like with doing these shows, doing these crossovers, everybody's gonna like cross pollinate. People are gonna pick up on stuff. So
that's the only way indie comic or anything indie period grows.
Oh yeah, we gotta tell like the big guys. You do your big guy thing over there. We're gonna be a bunch of little guys doing our little guy thing. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine.
It's like saying you don't need to be a horror guy to be going like, hey dudes, you're into horror, go look up these guys.
Yeah, horror comics are taking off in the indie scene. Sci-fi is taking off in the indie scene because all this stuff that everybody wants out there, like all those readers out there, you want this stuff and you're not going to get it from the mainstream. You have to look somewhere else, and that's where all these indie creators are. We got it for you. You just got to come find us.
And
we're trying to find you.
And always remember, the mainstream weren't always the mainstream. They started like we are.
Yep, that's it. The mainstream used to be the spit upon. You read that garbage? It's like, yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things that sometimes you keep hearing is like, oh, the people at Image, the stories were shit. They were weak. They didn't have good writers. Go, sorry, they had Alan Moore. They had this. They had everybody joining. But you have to keep in mind that Marvel, DC were shitty too. Their story weren't weak too. They had 50 years of building with different writers coming in to go, oh, we have a whole bunch of rich heritage and world building behind it. That's how eventually they were able to go. Hey, Chris Claremont, can you own the X-Men? And he did one of the best freaking run of X-Men ever. Chris Claremont, dude, is my favorite writer. And X-Men.
Dan Fraga just interviewed. Who did he just interview? Oh, I can't remember. He just interviewed. Oh, Roy Thomas. That's who it was. And Roy Thomas kind of like tore a strip out of people that were getting into comics that are not fans, And he's like, look, I understand you could write a Times bestseller, but you technically can't just come in here and write these characters.
Nope.
You don't get it. You're just coming in, you're taking the money, and you're piecing out. It's not that you care about them. You're just coming in to get a check and piecing out.
Yeah. Me, dude, it's one of the things like we're having a conversation. Somebody was like, "Dude, if I make it big, I make a lot of money. I'm gonna hire a whole bunch of people, and they're gonna do the drawings. I'm just gonna manage them." I'm like, dude, I could be a millionaire tomorrow, right?
I'll still be drawing.
I'll
my
still
shit.
be doing the same shit.
Yep.
Waking up, sleep, like going to bed, going between my chair and my bed, and drawing.
Yep.
That's what I like to do. That's what I want to do till I fucking die.
Yep. What was it? Tezuka, his last words were like, like, please let me work. Like, those were his last words, the guy who created Astro Boy, on his deathbed, begging the people to let him work.
Yeah. Dude, it's what it is when you're doing what you love.
Exactly. You don't want to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you very much, Simon, for popping in. Everybody, I'm Ryan Cardinal. You can follow me on all my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, you name it. If there's a social media thing that I'm on, you can find me at The Ryan Cardinal. And be sure to sign up. Get your copy of Tales and that first while you can. And sign up to the Caius mailing list. All this info, you can find it everywhere. I'll post it in links, blah, blah, blah.
And by the way, Chris loved your book.
Oh, you read it finally?
No, he told me he loved it.
Oh, awesome. I don't like that. Well, he's going to like part 2 when it comes out. All right. That's going to wrap it up here. Everybody, peace out. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. All right.
Later.